This strategy supposedly made over $1 million. Not a hedge fund, not a bank, one YouTuber. So naturally, I had one question. Can it actually survive when a computer is forced to trade it? Because there's a huge difference between spotting great trades on YouTube and building a system that has to make decisions completely on its own. So today, I'm taking one of YouTube's biggest trading educators, feeding his content into an AI, reverse engineering his strategy, and turning that strategy into a real trading bot. And then I'll be forcing it to trade 90 days of historical data. No hindsight, no discretionary decisions, no deleting losing trades, just code versus the market. And what happened around the middle of the backtest completely changed my opinion. Hi there, I'm Deervolt and welcome back to Capital Insider. A few weeks ago, we tested trades by size trading strategy and 1,000 of you suggested one person, TJR. If you've spent any time in the trading space, you've probably seen one of his videos. Simple charts, no clutter, no endless indicators, just one strategy. In fact, he claims that single strategy has helped him make over $1 million. That's a massive claim. Let's see if the data agrees. So who is TJR? One thing I immediately noticed while watching his content was that TJR isn't really selling entries, he's selling simplicity. While most trading creators have 10 different systems, dozens of indicators, and a new best strategy every week, TJR keeps repeating the same message. Stop chasing strategies, learn how price actually moves, master one system, and then repeat it. It's a refreshing approach, especially considering how complicated trading content has become. But there's a problem. Humans are really good at making judgment calls, and computers, well, they just aren't. So, before we could test anything, we first have to figure out exactly what this strategy actually was. Instead of asking ChatGPT, what's TJR's strategy? We did something much more interesting. We turned AI into a detective. It watched hours of his content, compared explanations across multiple videos, highlighted repeating concepts, ignored motivational advice, ignored storytelling, ignored opinions, and only kept the rules that consistently appeared. Eventually, the AI produced something that looked less like YouTube notes and more like a trading manual. Entry rules, exit rules, risk management, market conditions, everything needed to teach a computer how to trade. Then came the hard part, turning those ideas into code. And that's where most trading strategies fall apart, because humans leave things unsaid. You'll hear things like, this setup looks clean, or I don't really like this market. Those aren't rules, they're experience. Computers don't have experience. They need numbers, conditions, and logic. If something couldn't be measured, the bot simply couldn't use it. Eventually, every single decision became objective. No emotions, no intuition, no second guessing. The bot was ready. Now it's time to find out. 90 days, gold, every trade taken automatically. No intervention, no changing rules halfway through, no deleting bad trades. Just one question. Would this strategy actually have an edge? Okay, awesome, we're back on YouTube. So now let's try and find TJR's strategy. This means a video he made explaining his rules, explaining his entries, explaining his exits, essentially all of the logic a trading bot would need to know how to trade this strategy. So as always, let's just start by searching for it. Cool. Surprisingly enough, a month ago, he actually made an updated trading strategy video. So this is perfect for what we need to teach our bot. So let's click on it. We're going to pause it because we don't watch ads. And then we're going to go to show transcript. And as always, we're just going to copy the transcript for the entire video and paste it into our trusty text document. It's as easy as that. I would go and try and find more videos of his strategy, but if this video explains his updated strategy, I feel like just adding more data and rules to it might actually confuse our bots more. So let's just go off of this single video. Next up, we're going to go to our Capital Insider Strategy Extractor AI. You've seen this interface before, it's insanely simple. All we have to do is upload our text document and it's going to extract all of the strategy info that we need. And it's as easy as that. let's start extracting. I'm actually very intrigued to see how this strategy ends up doing compared to the trades by Psy one, or even this stupid idea we did of trading Donald Trump's tweets. If you guys haven't seen those two videos yet, definitely go check them out. They're super good, and I feel like this series is just going to get more and more interesting as we go. So if you have any suggestions, no matter how crazy they are, definitely drop them down in the comments below and we'll definitely check them out and try to make them happen. Okay, cool, we're inside Chronos now. As you can see, we've loaded in our TJR strategy, we've loaded in 3 months of historical data, we've set our starting price at a $20 of capital. So, how much money would you have after 90 days if you traded the TJR strategy starting with $20? Oh, okay, looks like we ran into a bit of a technical difficulty. I'm just going to patch Chronos and then we'll be right back.
One eternity later.
Okay, cool, I think I patched Chronos, so let's try this again. The TJR strategy, 3 months of historical data, $20, what's the result? Cool, results are in. After 3 months of trading this strategy, you would have only $1.50, which is kind of crazy. I think something is definitely wrong, because here our profit factor is $999, and we've only taken one trade in 3 months, which is kind of strange. So let's try this again. What would happen if you traded this strategy starting with $50? After 3 months, you would have $1.50. It still has only taken a single trade. Let's try again with $100. If you traded this strategy starting with $100, would it still just take a single trade? No, it looks like it took still just one trade, but somehow it took $3 instead of $1.50, which is not great. This trading strategy is not looking too good. Now, finally, $1,000. So what would happen if you followed this strategy for 3 months, starting with $1,000? You would have made $7.50, which is kind of terrible. Like if you had started with $1,000 and you only made a profit of $7.50, that's worse interest than the banks give you. So I don't know, maybe something is wrong. Let me investigate for a minute and then let's see if this is a Chronos issue or a strategy issue. Hey guys, Studio Devolt here for a second to tell you about today's sponsor, Weekly. Now if you're anything like me, your life is probably scattered across about 17 different places right now. You've got tasks in your notes app, ideas in your WhatsApp messages you send to yourself at 2 in the morning, random screenshots you'll definitely forget to look at again, 27 browser tabs you swear are important, and somehow a sticky note on your desk that's been there since March. You know that feeling when you know you wrote something down, you just can't remember where. That's exactly why I started using Weekly. Instead of trying another massive productivity system, Weekly is just one place to keep your life together. Your tasks, your notes, your reminders, your budgeting, even your AI assistant. Everything lives in one place, so you're not constantly trying to remember where you saved something. And unlike other apps like Notion, opening Weekly doesn't feel like you've accidentally started a second job. It's simple, it's clean, and it actually helps you feel more organized instead of less. If you'd like to check it out for yourself, head over to myweekly.co.za and use the code CapitalInsider for 15% off. Subscriptions start at just $5 per month, which is about 20% of what you'd be paying for another app. Thanks again to Weekly for supporting the channel. Now let's get back to the video.
A few moments later.
Okay, cool. I think I patched the issue. It seems like it was being way too strict with session windows, and there was also way too big of a cooldown time on the strategy, and that's why it only kept taking a single trade over 3 months. I patched it, and let's run one more version of tests. Let's see if the more relaxed version of the strategy actually performs better or worse. So, TJR strategy, test number 2, let's see how it does. So as you can see again, we've loaded in our TJR strategy, our 3 months of historical data, starting with $20. Let's run the test and see. Results are in already. Is it better than last time? No, we took 28 trades and we're down $18 after 3 months, which is terrible. Even our Trump strategy wasn't losing money after 3 months. But let's keep going. if we had to start with $50, what would the results be after 3 months? The results are in. You would actually make $31.88, which is quite crazy. I can see why the strategy is performing like this. We're actually giving back 80% of what we're making. And although our profit factor is $1.25 with a pretty good 70% win rate, that give back is absolutely killing our account. And in the past, people have asked, well, what difference does it make how much money you start with? It's for the drawdown. Sometimes your first 3 trades might go terrible and now you're down $30, but you're not on zero, so you can still recover and make it back. Anyway, let's move on. If we had to start with $100 over 3 months, you would have $74.26, which is actually pretty good. Like, at this rate, it does seem like the strategy is actually profitable. It's just not profitable for a small account. Now, our final test, starting with $1,000 across 3 months of market data, what's the results? Are you ready? $209.41. And as you can see, our give back percentage has dropped by over 50%. We're only giving back 33% of profits now. Our profit factor has gone up to $1.36, and our win rate is essentially still the same. But this is incredible. This means if you've got a big account, this strategy actually works. It's just not great for small accounts. The first few trades made me think this video was going to end very differently. The bot found setups quickly. It wasn't overtrading, it wasn't doing anything reckless, it looked disciplined. Several early trades worked exactly as expected. The equity curve started climbing, and honestly, I started wondering if this might end up becoming the best strategy we've tested so far. From that point onward, the entire backtest changed. So, what went wrong? The interesting thing is, the entries weren't terrible. In fact, many of them were actually quite good. The bot understood trend, it respected structure, it waited patiently, exactly like TJR teaches. The problem came afterwards. Trading isn't just recognizing patterns, it's recognizing context. A human trader might ignore a perfectly valid setup because something feels off. Maybe volatility is different, maybe momentum is slowing, maybe the session just doesn't feel right. A computer can't feel any of that. It only knows the rules say buy, so it buys. Again and again and again, until all of those small losses start stacking up. So, did it work? The final numbers were definitely not what I expected. The win rate was respectable, better than many retail strategies. But profit isn't created by win rate alone. And although there were some excellent trades, there simply weren't enough of them. Not because the strategy was completely broken, but because it couldn't consistently separate good opportunities from exceptional ones. And that's exactly the biggest lesson from this entire experiment. This wasn't really a test of TJR, it was a test of whether human judgment can be converted into code. That's a much harder problem, because experienced traders process hundreds of tiny details without even realizing it. Context, market conditions, momentum, timing, confidence. Most of that never gets spoken out loud in a YouTube video, which means AI can't extract that, and the bot can't trade it. So, does this prove TJR's strategy doesn't work? No, not at all. It proves something much more interesting. It proves that educational content and systematic trading are two complete different things. A strategy that works brilliantly for an experienced discretionary trader can struggle when every decision has to be reduced to simple rules. That's why I love making this series, because every strategy teaches us something new. Sometimes the strategy surprises me, sometimes the market surprises me, and sometimes the biggest lesson has nothing to do with profit at all. So, whose strategy should we put to the test next? ICT, Photon, Duel Exchange, or someone else? Leave your comments down below, and while you're there, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes of this series. Thanks for watching this video, and as always, happy investing.